Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary, back with another video, and today we'll be talking about Quinnen Williams and how he's taken a year-two leap and looks much better than what I thought he would look going into this year. He looks like he's at a Pro Bowl level. I'm really excited about it, but before we get started today, I just wanted to mention that you can follow along with me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the podcast. New episodes come out every Wednesday. So against the Miami Dolphins, it was a huge day again for Quinnen Williams, which is becoming a weekly thing. This kid in his second year is getting better week over week over week, and he had 7 total tackles, 1.5 sacks, a tackle for a loss, 2 pass deflections, and 3 quarterback hits. What I like is last year he was very good against the run, inconsistent in pass rush, and that was something that I was critical of Quinnen in year 1. Year 2, completely different story. He is getting after the passer, and he looks the part of the top 3 pick, and he is starting to progress week over week, which is something that you like to see and something to build off of going into 2021. So on the season, he's played in 10 games. He has 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 41 tackles, 8 tackles for a loss, and 10 quarterback hits. He's been productive. That is definitely a leap forward from what he was able to do in year 1. He's getting better in year 2. And just imagine what he could look like if there was a legitimate edge presence or some other pass rush help on this New York Jets roster. If you pace out his season, he's on pace for 7.5 sacks, 62 tackles, 12 tackles for a loss, and 16 quarterback hits. That's a solid season from a defensive tackle, and comparatively, it's on par for some of the other premier defensive tackles in this league right now and what they did in their second year. So I'm going to look at sacks, tackles, and quarterback hits for 3 guys and compare it to what Quinnen Williams' pace is so far for this year. Grady Jarrett in year 2, 3 sacks, 48 tackles, 9 quarterback hits. He is on pace to outplay Grady Jarrett in his second year. Aaron Donald, he's not on par with Aaron Donald, but just to put that into perspective, 11 sacks, 69 tackles, 37 quarterback hits. That's insane. But Fletcher Cox, he is on pace to go past and have a better year than in year 2. 3 sacks, 41 tackles, and 9 quarterback hits. He has more quarterback hits so far in just 10 games than both Grady Jarrett and Fletcher Cox did on their entire season. Now, what about the other Jets interior defensive linemen from the past and how they have been in year 2? Well, I would say he's on par to at least exceed 2 out of the 3 this year. Sheldon Richardson had 8 sacks, 67 tackles, 21 quarterback hits, and was a Pro Bowler in his second year. I wouldn't quite put Quinnen on that level, but I would say that they're at least comparable in the steps that they took forward from their first year to their second year, and hopefully they don't move Quinnen Williams to outside linebacker, and they can continue to progress their interior defensive presence, who's been really solid so far. Mo Wilkerson in his second year, 5 sacks, 69 tackles, 12 quarterback hits. Say that so far it looks like Quinnen Williams is going to have a better year than that. And lastly, Leonard Williams, 7 sacks, 68 tackles, 19 quarterback hits. Probably somewhere close to that is where Quinnen Williams is going to finish in 15 games, not 16 unless there's another injury. But ultimately what I think the key here is he needs to continue to progress, unlike those 3 guys. That was a lot of their peak. At least Sheldon Richardson and Leonard Williams, they peaked in their second year and never really were able to get back to that. While Muhammad Wilkerson had a couple of double-digit sack seasons, once he got paid, we know the story. We know what happened. Here's how he's ranking this year in some key stats. So he's 5th in the league in pass rush win rate at 14%. For defensive tackles, and then highest in run stop rate as a defensive tackle, he's 1st at 48%. That's really solid. That's top 5 in 2 really key categories for Quinnen Williams in his second year. Pro Football Focus grades him out to a 73.6 on the season. His run grade is a 71.1, and his pass rush grade is better at 74.1. Pro Football Focus has him ranked as the 26th interior defender, behind Folo Fatukasi and behind John Franklin Myers. I think that some of their stats are interesting. They are also a little bit flawed, so don't take that as the Bible, but it's interesting to look at. And to me, I think you can make the case that he is climbing up the ranks into the top 10 even And I would not be surprised if he makes the Pro Bowl this year. That's how good he's been playing. And if he continues to get better week over week, that stat pace can look completely different by the end of the season. Moral of the story here, it doesn't necessarily matter if he makes the Pro Bowl or if he outpaces what those other Jets did, a few years ago in their second year. What matters is that he is continuing to get better year over year, and he needs to continue to do that in year 3 and beyond. I think he can. To me, I just love what I see. The energy from him is great, and he seems like a legitimate building block on that defense. Jets don't have a ton of legitimate building blocks, so to have somebody that young that they could build around is a good sign. And I'll admit, I've been wrong about Quinnen Williams so far. I thought that he had a shaky rookie year. I thought he was okay, maybe underwhelmed a little bit. This year, he's been good, and I've been critical. I was critical of the pick at the time, but that's in the past now. You have to look at what the player's been doing, and he's exceeded my expectations, and he is playing really good football. So credit to Quinnen Williams, man. He's playing really good. So let me know what you think about Quinnen in the comments down below. Get at me on social media, at Matt O'Leary NY. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you next time.